What does it mean to be gay? Where do we come from? Why now? What's our purpose? What's our future? What is our function? How do we activate our power?
Grindr, sex, and poverty. We're going to explore the link between Grindr, sex, and poverty. More specifically, the amount of time and effort that is spent on hooking up and sex that otherwise should be spent on achievement, on learning and growing, and also the trauma that happens as a result of searching for sex that contributes to mental deregulation to such a degree that your ability to achieve, your ability to succeed is much lower. So sometimes when we think about sex, we never really think about poverty. I mean, how can sex lead to poverty? But the more you think about it, the more you think about it from the context of time that's spent on searching for sex and the mental retardation and hurt and trauma that happens in the process, then you can quickly see that, okay, if in 2022 you spend 100 hours from January until March searching for sex, those 100 hours are basically empty hours, wasted hours. And then when your bills are coming in, then you're becoming nervous. Because the time that you could have spent searching for better work, learning a new skill, and then starting a business or taking care of something that's difficult but important, that no longer takes place. And so everyone who is pursuing sex as the priority, eventually, and there are no exceptions unless you inherited money, there's no exceptions, eventually they end up poor. And they end up robbing themselves against poverty. When you go on Grindr, you'll quickly notice that most of the people on Grindr already are in the space of poverty. And if they're not there yet, they will get there really, really, really soon. So to talk about sex as leading indicator to poverty, we are helping you see that all the time that you spend on searching for sex, all the emotional drama associated with the strangeness of that, all of that will make you ill-prepared for the circumstances of the future. You're going to be too weak. You're going to have not enough time. You're going to be emotionally hurt and broken as a result of all the pursuits towards sex, pleasure, and the distraction, and all the things associated with it. So poverty is the outcome of sex. As a side note, looking at the history of humanity, looking at the poorest countries like Jamaica, Haiti, we quickly see that people that usually are in poverty, what do? What's the primary way of pleasure? Yeah, of course, it's sex. So everywhere you go where there are poor people, and I'm not judging here, again, I'm not judging, I'm just showing you the reality of how things work, you usually see a lot of sex. Because people are not concerned with higher level consciousness activities like purpose, like goals, like achievement, growth, transformation. People that are in the state of poverty, they're not interested in transformation. They're only interested in survival. So the moment you enter into the space of poverty is the moment when your ability to succeed gets almost completely erased. Because you're in a moment of survival. And when you're trying to survive, you can no longer think about the real transformation that you should have been thinking about prior to entering into the state of poverty. When I work, I have a timer and I measure the amount of hours I spend every day on the goals on the Big Gay Family Social Program, for example, and all the things that I want to achieve. I actually track my time. I have an Excel spreadsheet. I have a journaling methodology. So I actually check in with myself every day and I ask myself, am I wasting away my time? And there were times in my life where I did go on Grindr. I did go on the hookup apps. And I immediately knew that this is the biggest waste of your time. And that the people that you meet on there are also people that are wasting a tremendous amount of time. And let me ask you this. Do you really want to fall in love with someone through Grindr who's going to hang out on Grindr all the time and waste away his precious life? Is that a man of virtue, of principles who hangs out on Grindr? No, it's the worst people. It's the people that will enter poverty because they have no concern for their time. They have no concern for priorities. They are logged into Grindr 24/7 and they have no clue that they are getting closer and closer to poverty. They're losing things because they're spending too much time on things that have no value to their lives. So please, don't be a victim of the self-fulfilling prophecy of Grindr, which is turning everybody poor and causing everybody to lose things. Don't be that kind of guy. I'm inviting you to step outside of the world of sex. I'm asking you to pay attention, to not be naive, and not to assume that sex is going to make you happy. Everything today that has to do with sex is usually connected with humiliation, shame, devaluation, and a lot of pernicious, very strange situations that have absolutely no ability to bring wealth, to bring abundance to your life, and just the contrary. And I'm a business owner, and I can attest to all of this. I have noticed so much time waste. I have noticed so much distraction by the hookup apps that to me it's just outrageous. Outrageous. And that's why the moment I find out someone is on Grindr and someone is hooking up on the hookup apps, I just don't take that person seriously as a professional. Because you can't. I mean, how can a professional gay man who has a job, has a career, how can you take that person seriously when they hang out on the hookup apps? You can't take them seriously. Nobody does. And so, because nobody takes them seriously, what do? Well, they devalue them, they humiliate them, they shame them, they dehumanize them. So, everything that happens on the hookup apps, everything that happens with sex today is literally poverty mechanism for everyone. So don't be manipulated by sex. Don't listen to people that are pro-sex and sex is the best thing and all of that. These are people that are simply incompleted sexually. They're craving sex so much because they never had it. And that's why they prioritize sex. That's the only reason. Luckily, I've had tremendous amount of sex in loving relationships, in hookup relationship, friendships and hookups. And I've had sex through Grindr, and I've had sex over the past 26 years. And I understood quickly when I was in my 20s that sex is not the answer. It never is, never will be, and there's nothing you can do about this. And the more you spend time contradicting this, the more you spend time fighting for sex, the deeper the hole of poverty that you're digging under yourself. And just look around you. I mean, I don't have to be persuading you about this. Just look around you. Pay attention to the men that you meet on the hookup apps and just notice how they are, who they are, how they talk, what they focus on. Notice the quality of their lives. Notice if they take care of themselves. And you will notice easily that it's basically a roadmap to poverty for most of those men. Just a question of a couple more years, 3 years, 5 years, and they will be robbing against poverty. So don't be like them. Step out of the sex world and find passion, find higher consciousness activities, find your vision, find your goals. And if you don't know how to do that, then hire somebody to help you do that as soon as possible, because they are your ticket to achievement. And right now, this is what you should be concerned about the most: how to achieve, how to make money, how to become better, how to find relationships so that you don't have to be like a stray dog searching for sex all the time. So you need that love. When you have that love, that romantic love, when you have emotional connections, then you are not as easily manipulated to search for sex. And therefore, you are less likely to become poor. So all of this is important. Please don't be naive about sex. And don't let it lead you to poverty. And the best way to protect yourself from all of that is to become part of a community that inspires you to grow, that provides you healthy relationships, connections, and methodologies for intimacy. And that's what we have at the Big Gay Family Social Program. So it's your fastest way to an all-around transformation. So those of you who don't want to risk poverty, who don't want to be manipulated through sex and end up poor, then I'm talking to all of you. So please join us. Don't wait. Yes, it will cost a little bit of money to join Big Gay Family, but compared to the loss of time, compared to all the trauma and all the hurt from meeting the wrong people, it's a tiny, tiny investment and will multiply your ability to succeed by 100 times. Not only in love and relationships, but also in your career, achievement, productivity, and just an all-around ability to be a strong and powerful man. So join us, visit the website biggayfamily.com, and make sure so that you don't waste time on sex and on trivial pursuits, and instead focus on ambition, growth, and achievement. And I'm here to help you prioritize that and to help you succeed. So thanks for listening. I'm looking forward to more videos and podcasts in the future. I'll talk to you soon.
What does it mean to be gay? Where do we come from? Why now? What's our purpose? What's our future? What is our function? How do we activate our power?